In addition to that, just in the last few hours, we've had the bridge open, which is fantastic. I did want to talk to you guys about a little bit more about what's happening with liquid loans. So we have actually fully completed all of the options available for liquid loans. It's now on testnet v4. The Fetch Oracle has been deployed on testnet as well. We'd urge you to have a look at certainly go to the website, fetchoracle.com. But if you become part of the reporter network, there is an opportunity for you to actually earn fees from just being part of the network, but also being successful in providing an accurate price to the Oracle itself. We're on the countdown now, guys. So we're looking possibly around the 60-day mark. The idea being that we're about to commission the audit, so the audit's going to be conducted. This is immutable code, so it has to be perfect, right? So whilst we're comfortable with where we're at with the code, we need the auditors to do their thing. Hey guys, it's CC from Liquid Loans. As you probably are all aware, Pulse Chain is now officially live. In addition to that, just in the last few hours, we've had the bridge open, which is fantastic. So people are now bridging in tokens from Ethereum and potentially in the future other chains onto Pulse Chain. The excitement around that will be, as you can imagine, is once those tokens start to bridge in, we'll start to get some real values on the price of Pulse. It's been eagerly awaited, really happy that the bridge is open and that people are actually bridging in their tokens. And, you know, Pulse will actually find a price and it's an exciting time for the entire community. Fundamentally, though, I did want to talk to you guys about a little bit more about what's happening with liquid loans. So we have actually fully completed all of the options available for liquid loans. It's now on testnet v4. So the sort of extras that we have on the dapp that you may not have seen in the past, there's an analytics page that shows you how the protocol is actually performing. So there's some visualizations there that we've brought into the dapp. In addition to that, there's also the a liquidity pool rewards program. So the essence of that is that as people start to use the protocol, you guys will have an option to provide liquidity. So fundamentally, it provides you with an option of obtaining loan token, and particularly might be of interest to those that didn't get an opportunity of sacrificing for the protocol itself. You may wish to use the LP rewards program as a way of actually obtaining more loan token. So there are a couple of the features that we've added to the dapp. Probably the most crucial part of what we've developed, though, is the fully integrated Oracle service. Now, that was crucial for us, and I think many other DeFi protocols that will be launching on Pulse Chain or have launched may wish to use an Oracle service. And the name of that Oracle service is Fetch, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But fundamentally now, where we have launched the protocol on testnet v4, all of the functionality, including the direct link to the Oracle service, is available for people to test. And we'd urge that the community at large start to test. And, you know, things like open a vault, take out a small loan, be mindful of the liquidation ratio, ensure that you're able and familiar with actually how to create a vault, how to take out a loan, how to then take some of what you've created and perhaps use the stability pool. In that mechanism, you can actually take your USDL and actually start to earn loan token as well. So there's an issuance schedule there for people that provide stability to the system. And obviously, if there are any sort of liquidations, liquidation fees will also be provided to those that provide stability to the system using the stability pool mechanism. There's also obviously the staking pool. Staking pool is with the loan token itself. You can then stake those tokens to receive yield. Remember, the yield that you receive is paid in USDL as well as Pulse for any redemption fees that occur. Now, a couple of things you may be aware of is that the redemptions will be switched off for a period of time, and that's to help the protocol get up and running and not have the stability pool siphoned out too early. So fundamentally, we need to build that up. And having the redemption switched off, typically that'll be switched off for a couple of weeks when we do launch on mainnet. So you'll notice that feature is not available, but you'll be able to see how the mechanics actually work. It's just not something that can be used in this particular version. But outside of that, what we really urge you guys to do is test it, right? So we're on V4. It's a fully functioning version, and it does use the Oracle service, which kind of leads me into explaining a bit more about the Oracle and why that's so important. So one of the things that you guys may or may not be aware of is that most DeFi projects do rely on needing to get a price for the particular, in this case, we're using Pulse as the collateral for the lending protocol. So in effect, you need to get a valid price of Pulse. Now, one way of doing that is going to a decentralized exchange like PulseX and obtaining the price that way. And typically how you would do that is that you have basically an API call that looks at a particular contract or a pair on PulseX and says, okay, well, this is paired to Pulse. Let's get the price of Pulse from that particular pair, and we'll feed that into the DeFi protocol itself. And whilst in principle that works and can work really well, the challenge with just using a DEX is the fact that, hey, if that liquidity pool thins out, or for that matter, if the PulseX decides to morph into, say, something more like a Uniswap v3 version of PulseX, those liquidity pools don't automatically move across to the new version. And so, in effect, you may find that the liquidity pool is no longer being supported. And then all of a sudden, if you've developed immutable code, that's the only price feed that you have, it will break the protocol. So really important to have a decentralized Oracle service such as Fetch to be able to fetch the price that you need and actually feed that into Liquid Loans. So all of those mechanics are now part of Liquid Loans. The Fetch Oracle has been deployed on testnet as well. We'd urge you to have a look at certainly go to the website, fetchoracle.com. There's an explainer animation there. There's also a white paper that you guys can download. Have a look, read through the white paper. It's not a very long white paper, but it certainly explains how you might look to use that. Fundamentally, with an Oracle service, though, it also provides an opportunity for people to obtain yield by providing price feeds, right? So if you're wanting to become what's called a reporter, and basically it's whilst it's not quite the same, it's a similar sort of thing as being a validator on Pulse Chain. You do need to have some infrastructure that provides a price through to the Oracle service. But if you become part of the reporter network, there is an opportunity for you to actually earn fees from just being part of the network, but also being successful in providing an accurate price to the Oracle itself. So there's ample opportunities for people to actually use the service and actually generate yield. There'll be more content that we'll produce in terms of how do you become a reporter, what do you need to do. So that'll come through probably in the next week or so. And I think at the moment we have some pretty smart DevOps out there that are actually providing people some insight in terms of how they might want to spin up a reporter. So Gamma is someone that's actually been doing that and doing that quite well. So he will be a point person for you guys to sort of reach out to. Incidentally, there's also the Telegram group. So you might want to go to Fetch Oracle, the Telegram group itself, have a look there. There's admins in the group now that can actually provide you with some feedback and also help to direct you in terms of what the Oracle service is all about. So really, I think the call to action for us now is, guys, go and test Liquid Loans, do everything you need to do, create a vault, liquidate, do all of the things that you'd normally like to do, and do that in the testnet environment. We're on the countdown now, guys. So we're looking possibly around the 60-day mark. The idea being that we're about to commission the audit, so the audit's going to be conducted. This is immutable code, so it has to be perfect, right? So whilst we're comfortable with where we're at with the code, we need the auditors to do their thing, sign off the audit, and then we're in a good position to launch on mainnet. The other reason for wanting to delay is that obviously with Pulse Chain and the bridge opening, we're expecting quite a flurry of activity, and the price of Pulse may be quite volatile. So the last thing we would want is for people to get liquidated during that time. And so probably best for us to wait a little while. And look, whilst I say 60 days, it may be a little bit longer, it may be sooner. But the issues that we need to get over is primarily we need to commission the audit. The audit has to be concluded, has to be successful. And in addition to that, we also need to allow Pulse Chain to find its price and to find its a balance in terms of where it's at. We anticipate that's going to be at least 2 months, but we're really excited. And again, I just urge you guys to go and have a look, go and play around with liquid loans on testnet, and please provide the feedback. We do have an anonymous ticketing system that you guys can use. If you find things that you'd like us to have a look at, use the anonymous ticketing system. It allows us to sort of provide you with feedback in an anonymous way. It's something that we've used in the past. It works really, really well. So again, guys, have a look, go and play with liquid loans. Make sure that you can do the things that you'd like to do. And I really look forward to catching up with you when we're on mainnet. Thanks, guys.